Ladies and gentlemen, there are words a man speaks that the world dismisses as ordinary, but when he says them to you, they carry the weight of his soul. These aren't grand gestures or rehearsed declarations. They are hidden signals, quiet phrases that reveal a love so deep, so undeniable, it slips past everyone else unnoticed. Most people miss them. Most women overlook them. But if you learn to recognize these subtle expressions, you'll uncover the raw truth about how he feels. Stay with me, because once you understand these phrases, you'll never again question where you stand in a man's heart. And when a man is truly in love, his words carry a different weight. They are not just sounds strung together. They are windows into his heart, into the deepest parts of him that most people will never get to see. And the truth is, when he loves a woman madly, his language changes. He reveals pieces of himself that he keeps guarded from the rest of the world. These phrases, though subtle, are more powerful than any grand declaration, because they are whispered in the moments when he isn't trying to impress, but when he's simply being real. They are words that go unnoticed by others, but to the woman he loves, they are priceless. And when a man looks at you and says, "I've never felt this way before," you have to understand what that really means. Men don't often admit vulnerability. They like to appear strong, steady, unaffected. So when he tells you that you've stirred something in him that no one else ever has, he's exposing a truth he rarely lets anyone see. He's confessing that you've awakened emotions he didn't even know existed, that you've shifted the ground beneath his feet. And while some women brush this off as just a line, the reality is that men don't risk saying that unless it's real. It's a dangerous thing for him to admit, because it makes him vulnerable to you. That's what love does. It disarms him. And then there's the phrase, "I trust you." Those three words are far more powerful than "I love you." Love can be expressed in gestures, in romance, in attraction. But trust is earned. Trust is sacred. When he tells you he trusts you, he's not just saying he believes you won't betray him. He's saying he feels safe enough to let you see him unmasked, to let you in on his fears, his insecurities, his dreams, and his flaws. For a man, this is not something handed out lightly. It's not about trusting you to keep his secrets. It's about trusting you with his heart, with his identity, with the deepest parts of him that he protects from the world. That phrase is a doorway into his soul. And another phrase that slips out only when a man is madly in love is, "I'm proud of you." You see, pride is not just about recognition. When a man is in love, your victories feel like his victories. Your growth feels like his growth. When he says he's proud of you, he's not congratulating you like a friend or applauding you like a fan. He's telling you that your success is intertwined with his happiness, that seeing you shine fills him with joy. He wants you to know that he sees your strength, your effort, and your brilliance. That phrase is his way of saying, "I'm in your corner always." It's not flattery, it's devotion. And then comes the tender, almost whispered phrase, "I miss you." At first glance, this might seem ordinary, something anyone can say, but listen closely. When a man who is deeply in love says, "I miss you," it isn't just about your physical absence. It's about the ache he feels when you're not near, the void that no distraction can fill. It's his way of admitting that his world is better with you in it, that the colors fade when you're away. And he doesn't say it to manipulate or to keep you tethered. He says it because it acts out of him, because his heart can't help but voice what it feels. To a man, missing someone is a loss of control. So when he admits it, it's raw honesty. And sometimes it comes out as, "You make me want to be better." This is perhaps one of the most profound phrases you'll ever hear from him. Love isn't just about passion, it's about transformation. When he says this, he's admitting that your presence in his life inspires him to rise, to stretch, to become a version of himself he didn't think was possible. It's not that you're demanding he change, it's that loving you has awakened his desire to grow. It's not pressure, it's motivation. It means you've become his mirror, reflecting back the best parts of him and making him want to embody them more fully. That is love in its purest form, not just wanting someone, but wanting to be worthy of them. And there's also the phrase, "I've got you." At first glance, it might sound casual, but to a man in love, it's everything. It's his way of saying, "You're safe with me. I will carry your burdens when they're too heavy. I will stand beside you when you feel alone. I will not let you fall without catching you. That phrase is commitment in its most practical form. It's not romantic poetry, but it's the language of reliability. When a man says, I've got you, he's pledging himself to be your anchor in the storm. It's simple, but it's sacred. And then there's perhaps the most vulnerable of them all, I need you. Men are taught to be independent, to never admit need, to rely only on themselves. So when he says, I need you, it's not about dependency in the unhealthy sense. It's not about weakness. It's about acknowledging that his life is richer, fuller, deeper with you in it. It's about admitting that his soul craves your presence, that his world would be emptier without you. Those three words are his ultimate surrender, the acknowledgement that no matter how strong he is on his own, he's stronger, happier, and more alive with you. And these phrases might seem ordinary on the surface, but when a man is in love, they carry extraordinary meaning. They're not shouted from rooftops, and they don't always come dressed as grand gestures. Sometimes they're whispered late at night. Sometimes they slip out in moments of quiet honesty. Sometimes they're tucked into everyday conversations. But they are the truest markers of love because they aren't designed to impress. They're born from the depths of his heart. And the world often teaches us to look for the big declarations, the fireworks, the dramatic speeches. But real love, the kind that endures, is often found in the subtleties. It's hidden in the quiet phrases that no one else notices. And when you listen closely, you'll realize those words are the purest confession a man can ever make. And here's the truth about these phrases. They're not scripted, they're not rehearsed, and they're not lines pulled from some playbook. They come out in the moments when his guard is down, when he's not performing, when he's simply being. That's why they matter so much. Anyone can say, I love you, because it's expected, because it's what people think they're supposed to say in relationships. But these words, these are the ones that reveal the depth of his soul, the words that slip past his pride, his defenses, his desire to appear strong and unshakable. These are the words that show you he is not just with you, he is invested in you, tied to you in a way that shakes his very core. And think about the phrase, I've never felt this way before. On the surface, it sounds romantic, maybe even cliche. But when it comes from him, it isn't about drama. It's about honesty. He is admitting that you have awakened something inside of him he didn't know he was capable of feeling. For a man, this is monumental because he doesn't throw those words around lightly. He's not in the business of exposing his vulnerabilities unless something has cracked him open in a way he cannot deny. And when he says this, you have to realize he's giving you a glimpse into his heart that no one else has ever had access to. He's not comparing you to someone else. He's saying that with you, the experience is brand new, uncharted, and powerful enough to disarm him. That's how you know it's real. And when he tells you, I trust you, understand the magnitude of that. It's one thing to love someone, but trust takes it to a level that's much deeper. For men, trust doesn't come easily. He can enjoy someone's company, he can even love her, but trust, that's sacred ground. When he says he trusts you, he's inviting you into the places he normally hides. He's showing you the parts of himself he would never reveal to anyone else. He's saying, I can put down my armor around you, I can stop fighting to prove myself and just be. That is the most intimate gift he can give, because when a man trusts you, he gives you access to his world in a way no one else gets. He's no longer protecting himself from you. He's relying on you to hold what he offers with care. And I'm proud of you may not sound like fireworks, but don't underestimate it. That phrase is an anthem of love in disguise. Pride is not something a man expresses for just anyone. He may admire people, he may respect people, but when he is proud of you, it means your success and growth feel like his own. He celebrates you not because he has to, but because it fills him with genuine joy to see you thrive. It means he sees your effort, your resilience, and your achievements. It's his way of saying, you inspire me, you amaze me, you make me feel honored to stand beside you. And when a man says this, he isn't just complimenting what you've done. He's acknowledging who you are. And that acknowledgement is the purest reflection of his love. And now when he whispers, I miss you, you might think it's something anyone could say. But when it comes from a man who is deeply in love, it holds a different weight. For him, admitting that he misses you is an admission of weakness, and men are not often comfortable exposing that. But love changes everything. Missing you isn't about convenience or loneliness. It's not that he just wants company. It's that your absence feels like a void, a dull ache that nothing else can numb. His day feels off without you. His mind drifts back to you even when he's busy. Saying I miss you is his way of surrendering to the truth that you matter so much. Life feels incomplete when you're not around. It's a confession that he can't replace you with distractions because no one else carries your presence, your energy, your effect on him. And you make me want to be better. This phrase reveals transformation. A man doesn't change because someone forces him to. He changes because he's inspired. And when he says you make him want to be better, he's admitting that your presence has lit a fire within him. He sees in you a reflection of what he could be, and he wants to rise to that standard. Not because you're demanding it, but because loving you has awakened the highest version of himself. This isn't about pressure or control. It's about his desire to grow, to evolve, to match the greatness he sees in you. That's the impact of real love. It doesn't just make someone feel good. It challenges them to become more than they ever imagined. And then there's the steady grounding phrase, I've got you. Those words are powerful because they carry with them security and reassurance. Life will throw storms, doubts, and uncertainties your way. But when he says, I've got you, he's promising you won't face them alone. It's his way of telling you that no matter what happens, he'll be your anchor, your protector, your safe place. It doesn't mean he has all the answers, but it does mean he won't let you face life's challenges without support. Those words are not just comfort. Their commitment. They are a voada, W, wrapped in simplicity that says he is showing up for you fully and consistently. And when he looks at you and says, I need you, understand the gravity of that. Men are taught to be independent, to handle things alone, to avoid showing need. For him to admit that he needs you is to step into vulnerability with no safety net. But here's the beauty. It's not about weakness. It's not about dependency. It's about love in its truest form. I need you means you bring something into his life that no one else can. It means his world feels less alive without you, that his strength multiplies when you're by his side. It's the ultimate surrender, the acknowledgement that no matter how capable he is on his own, life is infinitely better with you in it. And these phrases are not loud or obvious. They don't come with neon signs or dramatic music. They come in quiet moments, sometimes late at night, sometimes in the middle of a conversation you didn't expect to be deep. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss them. But if you do pay attention, you'll see that these are the markers of a love that is rare, deep, and transformative. And a man may not always write poetry or craft grand speeches. He may not always know how to articulate every emotion racing through him. But these phrases, subtle as they are his love letters. They are the words that escape when he's being real, when the world fades and it's just him and you. They are the truth breaking through his defenses. And so the next time you hear him say, I've never felt this way before, recognize the courage it takes to admit that. When he whispers, I trust you, understand the sacredness of that gift. When he tells you, I'm proud of you, let it sink in that he sees you fully and celebrates you wholeheartedly. When he says, I miss you, realize that his world is less colorful without you. When he admits, you make me want to be better, know that you've inspired the highest version of him. When he reassures you with, I've got you, feel the safety of his commitment. And when he surrenders with, I need you, understand that you've touched his soul in a way no one else ever could. And because love isn't always about the big moments, sometimes it's about these quiet, unrecognized phrases that slip out when he's not trying to impress. They may not sound extraordinary to anyone else, but to the woman he loves madly, they are everything. And what's fascinating about these phrases is that they reveal a man's deepest truths without him even realizing how much he's giving away. He might not sit down and think, I'm going to confess my entire heart in this moment. No, these words often slip out in the flow of a conversation, in those moments where his heart speaks before his mind has the chance to calculate. That's why they're so powerful. They're raw, they're unfiltered, And they're the moments you should pay attention to because they show you the kind of love that doesn't just come and go. It anchors itself into your life. And when a man tells you, I've never felt this way before, what he's really saying is that you've reached a part of him no one else ever could. And think about what that means. For most of his life, he's been conditioned to hold his emotions back, to play it cool, to keep his feelings in check. But with you, he can't help it. He's admitting that what he feels for you has broken through the walls he spent years building. That phrase may sound simple, but it's monumental. It tells you he's stepping into uncharted emotional territory. He may not even fully understand it himself, but he knows one thing for certain. You've made him feel something he didn't think he was capable of feeling. And then when he looks at you and says, I trust you, you need to recognize that he's handing you something incredibly fragile, his heart. Trust is not just about believing that you won't lie or cheat. It's about allowing you to see high. And when he doesn't have all the answers, when he feels insecure, when he questions himself, it's saying, I can show you the parts of me I hide from everyone else, and I know you won't use them against me. That kind of trust doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, and when he gives it, it's his way of declaring that his love for you has surpassed his fear of being exposed. Few men get to this point, and when they do, it's because they've found someone whose presence feels like home. And now, I'm proud of you may seem like something anyone could say, but from him, it has a deeper resonance. Because a man who is in love isn't just noticing your accomplishments, he's invested in them. Your wins feel like his wins. Your progress feels like a reflection of both your journeys. When he says he's proud of you, it's not about ego or image. It's about admiration. It's his way of reminding you that he sees the work you put in, the obstacles you overcome, the resilience you show. And more than that, it's his way of communicating that he values not just what you do, but who you are. In his eyes, your growth, your achievements, your perseverance, they're beautiful, and he wants you to know he sees them. And I miss you is one of those phrases that can be dismissed because it sounds so common. But when he loves you madly, those three words carry a different energy. He's not just saying it to fill space or because he thinks it's what you want to hear. He's saying it because your absence is felt in the deepest way. It's not about physical proximity. It's about connection. You become a part of his routine, his thoughts, his emotional fabric. When you're not there, something feels incomplete. And for him to admit that, it means he's stopped trying to cover up the fact that you matter so much. That longing, that emptiness when you're away is his heart's way of telling him that you're irreplaceable. And then there's the phrase that transforms not just him, but the relations, HIP itself. You make me want to be better. Think about how powerful that is. Men can spend their entire lives resisting change, staying in their comfort zones, avoiding growth because it's uncomfortable. But when he says this to you, it means you've inspired something he couldn't find on his own. It means your presence has become a catalyst for his evolution. He's not saying you're demanding he be better. He's saying you've unlocked the part of him that wants to rise to the occasion. That's love at its highest form. Love that doesn't just feel good, but love that transforms. Love that makes someone strive for greatness, not out of obligation, but out of desire. And then there's, I've got you. That phrase is deceptively simple, but it carries the weight of a promise. Life isn't easy. There will be moments of doubt, chaos, pain, and uncertainty. But when he looks at you and says, I've got you, he's declaring that you don't have to walk through it alone. He's telling you he's stepping into your world with you, shoulder to shoulder, no matter how heavy the burden is. It's not about rescuing you. It's about partnership. It's about assurance. It's about his willingness to show up consistently and let you know you are never without support. Those three words might be quiet, but they are the sound of stability, devotion, and unshakable love. And then finally, I need you, perhaps the most vulnerable of all. This phrase shatters everything he's been taught about independence and strength. For a man to admit need, it requires him to lower every defense, to risk feeling exposed. But love has a way of making us admit the things we'd rather hide. When he says, I need you, He's not saying he can't survive without you. He's saying his life is infinitely more meaningful with you in it. He's confessing that his strength, his joy, his peace are amplified by your presence. And for him to voice that, it means he's given up the illusion of control and embraced the truth of his heart. It's not weakness, it's courage. It's the bravery to say, I choose to let someone matter to me this much. And the beauty of all these phrases is that they don't sound dramatic. They're not crafted to sweep you off your feet in some staged moment. They happen in the middle of everyday life. They happen when he's not thinking about what sounds good, but when he's simply revealing what's real. And if you learn to listen for them, you'll hear the language of a man who is madly in love, even when the rest of the world overlooks it. And love isn't always about the grand gestures. It's about the little windows into his soul that open when he least expects it. It's about the moments where he forgets to guard himself and lets his heart speak out loud. And if you pay attention, if you're attuned to those phrases, you'll know without question whether his love for you is surface level or life-altering. And because these aren't just phrases, they're confessions. They're admissions of a love so strong it can't be contained. They are the whispers of a man who has found the one person capable of disarming him completely, the one person who makes him feel things he didn't believe he could feel, the one person he doesn't just want in his life, he needs in his life. And then here's what you have to understand. When these phrases surface, they are never casual. They may come out casually, but their meaning is anything but casual. They are the cracks in the armor, the glimpses behind the curtain, the proof that something deeper is happening in his heart. And the reason they're often overlooked is because people expect love to be loud, obvious, and dramatic. They expect fireworks, grand gestures, sweeping declarations. But real love, the kind that shifts a man from the inside out, reveals itself in quieter, subtler ways. These phrases are his way of letting you into his private world, even if he doesn't fully realize how much he's revealing in the process. And think about, I've never felt this way before. To him, those words are terrifying. Why? Because they mean he's in uncharted waters. He's used to having control. He's used to keeping things predictable, manageable, safe. But you've disrupted that. You've introduced something he can't fit into a box, something that doesn't follow the rules he's always known. And as much as it shakes him, he can't resist it. By saying those words, he's admitting he's powerless against what he feels. That's not just attraction, and it's not infatuation. It's love that has reached a level where it defies logic, where it surpasses every past experience he's ever had. That's why he risks saying it, because he needs you to know that what you two have is not like anything he's ever known. And then when he says, I trust you, he's not just talking about trusting you to keep a secret or to be loyal. He's talking about trusting you with the unspoken parts of his life. He's saying, I can be flawed in front of you. I can be uncertain. I can even fail. And I know you won't weaponize it against me. For a man, that's monumental, because most of the time men are on guard. They protect themselves with confidence, with achievements, with strength. But trust allows him to set all of that down. It's his way of saying, I can breathe here. I don't have to perform here. I don't have to hide. That's not something he grants easily. That's something reserved for the woman he loves so deeply, she feels like his safe haven. And then there's, I'm proud of you. Those words are never thrown around lightly when they come from a man who loves you, because when he says them, it's not about checking a box or flattering you. It's about genuinely feeling joy in your accomplishments, in your growth, in your journey. It's his way of standing beside you and saying, I see you, I see what, same, you've overcome. I see what you're becoming, and it makes me so happy to witness it. And here's the beautiful part. When he's proud of you, it doesn't come with competition. It doesn't come with envy. It doesn't come with resentment. It comes with admiration and honor. He's not proud of you for what you do for him. He's proud of you for who you are. And that is a rare kind of love, the kind that celebrates you, not as an accessory to his life, but as a complete individual who shines in her own right. And I miss you is one of those phrases that on the surface can be dismissed as ordinary. But you have to listen for the way he says it. When a man loves you madly, those words are heavy with longing. They're not just about wanting your company. They're about needing your presence, because life feels incomplete without it. It's the way his chest feels empty when you're gone. The way his thoughts keep drifting back to you no matter how busy his day is. The way even the victories in his life feel muted if he can't share them with you. When he says, I miss you, he's admitting that your presence is not just a want, it's a necessity. He's saying the world is better, brighter, fuller when you're here. And let's look again at you make me want to be better. That phrase is so powerful because it doesn't come from a place of obligation. It comes from inspiration. You're not asking him to change. You're not pressuring him to grow. You're simply being yourself. And that alone challenges him to rise higher. Think about how profound that is. Your love becomes a mirror that shows him who he could be. And instead of running from that, he leans into it. When he says those words, he's acknowledging that being with you pulls out the best in him. That's not manipulation. That's not control. That's love doing its natural work. It's love creating transformation. And I've got you may be short, but it is one of the most reassuring statements a man can make. It's not dramatic. It's not poetic, but it's real. It's his way of saying, I've chosen you and I'm here for the long haul. It means you don't have to question if he'll vanish when things get hard. It means he's not just around for the good times. He's committed to standing beside you in the storms too. When he says this, it's more than comfort. It's a promise of consistency, reliability, and unwavering support. It's him putting actions behind his words, reminding you that you are never alone in the fight. And then when he finally admits, I need you, understand the courage it takes for him to say that. Men are conditioned to avoid those words. They're told they should never need anyone, that needing someone makes them weak. But when love strips him down to his most vulnerable state, he can't deny it anymore. I need you doesn't mean he can't survive without you. It means life without you wouldn't hold the same meaning. It means his joy, his peace, his wholeness are amplified when you're near. It's the ultimate confession because it shatters every wall he's built to protect himself. It's the rawest form of truth he can offer, that his life is infinitely better because you are in it. And these phrases are the hidden language of love. They don't always come with fanfare, and they don't always sound like declarations. Sometimes they're said in quiet moments when he least expects to reveal himself. But they are the words that matter most. They're the words that separate surface-level affection from a love that runs deep. And if you listen closely, you'll begin to notice them. You'll begin to recognize that they're not just words, they're revelations. And a man doesn't say, I've never felt this way before, unless he's truly shaken by what he feels. He doesn't say, I trust you, unless he's surrendered the need to protect himself from you. He doesn't say, I'm proud of you, unless he's celebrating your existence as if it were his own. He doesn't say, I miss you, unless your absence leaves him aching. He doesn't say, you make me want to be better, unless your love is transforming him from the inside out. He doesn't say, I've got you, unless he's committed to carrying part of your world with his own strength. And he doesn't say, I need you, unless he's given up the fight to pretend he can live without you. And these words, these phrases are treasures. They're not obvious to the outside world, but to you they should mean everything, because they are proof of a love so deep it goes beyond the superficial. They are proof that you've touched his soul, that you've reached a part of him no one else ever has. And that, more than any dramatic gesture or elaborate speech, is how you know when a man loves you madly